something doesn't work, try and try again. So I'm trying something altogether new because this is an important show. I'm so sorry. Let me just fix something very quickly. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Yes, you can hear me. So I believe there might be a bug somewhere because I'm actually on a lot of beta software, but let's hope this works. I'm doing it in a different way now, right? I'm doing it in a different way. That's the fun part about live and live streaming because we can implement changes, right? So let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your congratulatory notes. All my friends, I can see them. Thank you so much. It's just that because I've been restarting this is the third try, right? That's why it's been a problem, right? So, and of course, if you are popping up first time, I'm doing this for the second time. This is day 100 of a 100-day live stream challenge. So today, kind of want to just go through some of the top 10 things I learned from doing this challenge. And also, at the end of it, talk about what are my plans after this, right? Let's keep our fingers crossed, toes crossed that the connection stays okay, right? So, but I do appreciate you joining me for this, even with all the difficulties, right? Sometimes it happens, right? So, first thing I wanted to talk about was it's not a countdown, but just 10 things I learned. And I'm truly, truly happy that I managed to pick up this tool called Ecamm Live because I think in this very interesting times, this software is a game changer in many, many ways. So I've picked up the tools and the skill to use it. I wouldn't say I'm a master at it, but I've learned it pretty well. So, uh, so far, it's been working out well. It really can level up your presentation for whatever objective you are doing, right? So I was sharing a story about a magician that I was working with the other day. He is yeah. So because of this, I can't see comments. Yeah, because I'm not streaming via Ecamm Live. Let's see how I do this. Yeah, that's the problem with this. I can't see comments. So I'm actually going out to you using another platform now. And but it seems okay, seems more stable at the moment. At least I can still see myself on my computer, on my iPhone. Yeah, but because of what's going on right now, you need to transition from a offline to online kind of setting, and you need to up your game. And Ecamm Live, if you really dive deep into all the things that it can do, it really can do a lot of fascinating things, and it can serve a purpose very well. So, of course, beyond the bells and whistles, it's really about. I always feel that tools are important only in the way it serves you. So, whenever people ask me like for help, I typically will always ask the first question, which is what is the use case? And once I know your use case, I can better advise or help you along. Because there is a tool for everything. And Ecamm Live, while powerful and very amazing, it is still just a tool. And there are many tools out there. Granted, it is a very powerful and versatile tool. So this is Ecamm Live. Let's see whether I can see the comments another way. So today, the way I'm doing it is a bit less formal. Check, open in browser. See whether it works this way. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining me. especially for day 100. Constantly checking that it's still going out to the internet. This is the third time I'm restarting this. So one important thing I've learned or learned to use well over the past 100 days is Ecamm Live. In fact, when I was looking back at all the episodes, it seems to show, I think I did like almost halfway onwards, 50 something episode onwards, it's all been Ecamm Live. And it's been serving me very, very well. So it's a bit of a problem today. It just doesn't seem to hold on to the internet connection. So on Zoom, it seems, so technically now I'm actually using Ecamm Live inside Zoom, and Zoom is the one that's piping out to you, right? So I can see comments from Facebook because the browser is open. I can't feed it into this. So this is another challenge. Well, no worries, we'll work it out, right? So typically, if there are comments, I can feed the comments inside here directly. But right now, because of the setup, then there is a bit of a challenge. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that over the course of this this couple of this 100 days, I've become an amateur sound guy. I've always been interested, but I've never been. In fact, the other day I was talking with a friend, and I was showing her like all the things that I do behind the scenes for the audio to sound the way it sounds now. She was asking, did you used to be the sound guy in church last time? I said, no, I was in the choir. I was in the choir. I was in the church choir. I was never the sound technician. But now I have an immense respect for the things they do. So over the course of this period of time, I have started to really learn how to use some of these audio tools, which let me just quickly show you. Let's see if I can just do it now. I think I can. Share screen. Current application. Let's see. Nope. Why is it not showing? Because I am sharing it onto Zoom. So that's why it's not it should be showing. Current application. Oh, yeah, because of overlay. Okay, let me hide this. I know what to do. I can show this. And I can do this. Yeah. So this is the sound thing I've been doing. So you notice that this is like an audio signal chain, and I walked through before. A lot of times people ask like, how do I get my sound from Ecamm into Zoom, my Zoom into Ecamm, and all those things, right? It has a lot to do with what you're seeing now. There are two pieces of software that's important. One is called Audio Hijack. The other one is called Loopback. And you kind of have to play around with this and learn it. And because you can see when I talk, the things are moving, right? This is literally the signal chain, right? And like I showed before, you have all these noise suppressions. It's not showing up on the screen. It's showing up here. Okay, see whether it's showing this one. Oh, this is showing. So this is an equalizer, right? It's a real-time analyzer. And what I've done on this one is to kind of lower some of the frequencies in my voice that doesn't sound very pleasing. So you can see when I'm talking, all these things are going up and down. It actually dynamically adjusts the sound when I need it to, right? So this is something that is very interesting. This is called F6 equalizer, right? And recently I added one more thing, which is here. So this is called the vocal rider. And as you can see, the rider, it is riding the scales up and down when I talk. So it helps you to normalize the audio level. So sometimes if I talk softer, then it goes higher. But if I talk louder, then it doesn't need to go up as much, right? So that's how you keep it level. So these are all things you can do behind the scenes as a back end for you to improve your sound, right? So I'm not an expert in this. I'm still learning, and I'm not intending to learn it to the level where I become an expert. I just need to be able to use it just well enough to do some damage, right? And I think I've done plenty of damage, right? So this is audio hijack. So let me go back to Ecamm now. Oops, oh, wrong one. I'm back at Ecamm and go back to my mic. My main camera, and yeah, that's fine. Now I do this because I need to check the lines. There's this funny line that goes on. So tonight's episode is really having a conversation with all of you, and just a quick recap. Let me just see whether I can see. See, go back to my. So now I got to check the comments from somewhere else. Yeah, so that's a downside. But you see, that's the fun part because we can make things work. We can always adjust on the fly and make things work. So that was number 2. So being an amateur sound guy, and let me remove that. Yep. So I've become like an amateur sound guy, and it's been fun learning how to route your audio from one source to another source, trying to marry the two applications together, because usually some organizations will tell you I only want to use Zoom. But with Zoom, if you just use Zoom and you use your own presentation, then a lot of things are limited. Some of the things that you may want to try and achieve cannot be done. So you need to bring in something like Ecamm Live, or there's another popular one which is called OBS. That's another popular one, but OBS has a steeper learning curve, right? It's a steeper learning curve. And I've also become a semi-amateur video guy. So because of all these things, now granted that the camera was not really because of live streaming that I picked it up. It was more for work, for my business, because I do a lot of live presentations. In fact, today I just finished one for the company. They asked me to be the guest speaker for today. So, but like yesterday, I was able to show you all these extra interesting things, learning how to do things like this, picking up a capture card. Let's see. Focus on it. Why are you not focusing on this? Oops. That's strange. Yeah. So this is a capture card, right? You need something like this to be able to connect all your cameras, even your iPads and your phones to Ecamm, which then goes out to like Zoom now, right? Of course, natively to Zoom is also fine, but this is another possibility. So the challenge now, I honestly tell you, the challenge now is cabling, right? And I'm always envious when I see other people with sets that are so many cameras, but yet they keep it so neat and tidy. I can't seem to do it because this is still my working table. It's not a pure live streaming table. I need it to do work, right? So I can't set up everything and then keep it like it is forever. I know some people do. They have a very permanent live streaming setup and then they don't do anything else. But this is not. This is really my work area, right? I do a lot of things on this table, right? So, but it's been fun. Definitely fun. Next one is the 100 days has taught me how to do on-screen graphics and using tools that is free, right? Like just now, the little animation you saw is done using a Mac-based software that is free for all Mac users, which is called Keynote, right? And again, a huge shout out to Bradley Vincent. He was the person who pointed me to um, to using it this way, right? So even if you if I show you the previous scene, right? The animation on the right, this is also done inside Keynote, right? It's done inside Keynote, and then this is done inside Keynote, right? So all these are done inside Keynote. That is a free software for Mac users. I've been a Mac user for a long, long time. The equivalent of it will be PowerPoint, right? But it allows you to do all these things and then add it as a graphic on a live stream, which can improve the production value. Now, remember I talked about something called um, live stream fatigue or Zoom fatigue, right? So something like this, you kind of want to just disturb the visual attention of your viewer, right? So you have things like this flying around sometimes, but don't do it too often. Do it from time to time, right? So it captures their attention enough for them to do to pay attention, right? Because you are involved in the act of persuasion, right? You're basically trying to persuade them to take action towards something, right? So just now you notice that I just kept talking, but I added something which is called a mid-roll CTA, which is a mid-roll call to action. Again, all done inside Ecamm Live, right? So what you do is you just keep talking, and then you just do something, you just throw it into the mix when you are doing a show, but it gives the audience a request. Can you help to do something? Can you do something for me? Or you ask them to take a certain action, right? So just like when I keep talking and this thing is showing, it goes across the screen and it disappears very fast. Like this is just asking the audience, please help to like and share, right? And then it goes away. Now, but because you are still talking, it doesn't feel like it's an interruption, right? It doesn't feel like an interruption. It feels like, hey, there's something that just kind of captures their attention. So this is also done inside it's also done inside Keynote, right? So wonderful, wonderful free piece of software. In fact, it is my go-to application for presentations. I have not used any any Microsoft based softwares in my computer for a long, long time. Number 6, letting go. Why letting go? This 100 days has helped me to learn how to let go. Let go of a lot of things actually. One is the incessant need to be on time. It is a good trait, but it can be bothersome sometimes. So I feel very uncomfortable if, let's say, I target the show to start 10 and it doesn't start at 10, right? Because I always feel that I want to respect people's timing, right? But over the past 100 days, because I do try, I mean, it's a 100-day program, right? And every day around 10 p.m. But I also have my own life and my own business. And sometimes some of these things can eat into the timing a little bit, just a little bit. And so in the past, I would have felt super uncomfortable. But lately, I mean, I've gotten used to it. So I I just let it be. And we talked about the importance of live streaming, right? The fact is that like now, I mean, if you're watching from start to end for this episode, I truly, truly thank you for that. Hopefully can bring value and share, because this is about becoming the best versions of ourselves, right? But the honest truth is that most of the time your audience will be hopping on and hopping off, hopping on and hopping off. So I can see from the viewership numbers that sometimes there are people watching, sometimes there are nobody's watching, but it's fine. That's perfectly fine, right? And then sometimes the numbers surge and then it drops a bit, and surge and drops a bit. So no, okay, maybe if you are that popular a show that people are waiting and demanding that you start at 10, but not all the time. So I got over myself. There's no need to worry about that, and I'm happy in that sense, because I understand being on time is a very good trait, but I also understand that I need to learn to be more flexible. So I'm letting go of that, right? I've let go of that. And also, um, so that's one of the main things, right? um, Back of my mind, I'm constantly thinking, okay, hopefully the internet stays on. So if this works properly, it seems like the bug is with somewhere. Okay, next one. This past 100 days, I've also started to understand. So along the middle of it, I kind of mentioned that I want to do something else. I want to uh, I want to become a better speaker. Uh, I'm an okay speaker. I'm not a great speaker, but I think I aspire to be a great speaker now, right? So the past 100 days has helped. I was just sharing with a friend the other day that because of these 100 days of live streaming, I'm also finding that for my own business, when I need to speak, it has certainly helped in both ways, you know. So, of course, because you get a lot of practice every day, that's one. But the other thing I also notice is that when my best moments is when I have a very, very deep conviction of the thing that I'm saying. And it comes across in the way that I want to come across. So the key for now, at least, I find that to good speaking is truly, truly conviction in the things that you want to convey, right? Because I've noticed that for these 100 days, right, the days that I felt that I did well are days when I'm keeping pace on a topic that I truly, truly, I mean, it resonates a lot with me. And when I share it that way, it just goes out much better, right? Um, Maybe we should do a 360 feedback or 180 at least. But yeah, that's what I have noticed for sure, right? So I guess I did a few live stream episodes about learning to speak well and the 4 areas, right? I guess one of these areas would be now the sense of conviction, that you have towards a subject matter. Now, admittedly, because the past 100 days, the biggest challenge was literally finding content every day. So some days, you kind of have to scramble to find content because you're trying to meet. It's just important as well, right? To meet the challenge, right? But some days the topics are not really things that are 100%, or maybe I'm still learning about it and I'm not invested fully. So that's why it doesn't come across with much conviction in that sense. And I find that those days are the days when I don't perform as well, or in terms if I evaluate myself as a speaker, right? So that's what I've discovered. You know, that's one of the key things, right? The next part is on journaling and obsidian. Is in fact since maybe late last year, I always wanted to get into um, journaling, right? And started to do it on the iPad more. But because of doing all these live streams and so on, I then came across an app called Obsidian, and that has truly been a game changer for me, right? That has truly been a game changer for me because now I guess because it's also the app and I'm fascinated by it, right? So it also deepens my uh my desire to want to use it to journal. So I'm happy to report that now daily journaling is kind of a habit already. It's on the way, right? So that's the fun part. That's really the fun part. Learning how to do that. So let me just quickly show you Obsidian. And if you are keen to if you want to you should really check out Obsidian. if you are keen on like taking down notes and jotting down things and so on, right? Because it really is quite fun. I'm like a schoolboy sometimes. So let me share that. Yay! It works. Right. So I'm here at the bottom. So this is the brain. So happy to report that my brain is getting bigger. This is my second brain. This is my only other brain. Right. So this is my second brain. So you notice that the notes are journaling is a huge one. And these are my daily notes, right? My daily journals. And then this is another one, live streams, right? So on, right? So it's fascinating, right? This is based on something called the Zettelkasten. Zettelkasten is German for box of notes. Zettel is notes, Kasten I think is box, right? That's about the only German I know. So do check it out. I'm so happy to say that I came across. So one of the fringe benefit of doing the 100-day live stream is that I chanced upon this thing called Obsidian, and it's been a game changer for me. It's really been a game changer for me. Okay, so that's number 4. Yeah, number 4. Thank you for sticking around. Today's episode is it's not like some friends are asking how are you going to celebrate it. They say pop champagne and all that. Unfortunately, I don't drink anymore. I'm not a drinker anymore. If not, yeah, that would have been a great idea, right? Popping champagne. So the next one, hang on. So this is about doing things on the fly, which is quite fun, right? So that was Obsidian. And the next part, I'm actually also going to use Obsidian to share a little bit. So number 3. Oops. The next thing I'm learning in terms of the 100 days, I started to learn how to rely or lean on support. In the past, when something happens and something crops up and a bug happens, right, I would find all ways and means to really try and resolve it as much as I can. But the past 100 days, there has been certain issues with the sound and the software and all those things. Also part of the other thing, which is letting go. I've simply just redirected my attention, send an email or find whatever is a communication way, and then I let it be, right? So I wait for the developers of those softwares to solve my problems for me, which has been enlightening. So this is another very, very good lesson I've learned. So I learned to lean on support, right? And if you can see, because of all these things that I'm doing, there's a lot of software in play, right? There's a lot of software in play. So yesterday I was actually showing this, and I also talked a little bit, and because of the cutting in and out of the software yesterday, maybe you didn't quite catch it, but I wanted to show this to you today. Let me quickly show you. So you see, because I'm writing the words very near to the light, right? So you will probably not see it. See? So if I write something here or I write something here, you can't see it at all, right? And that was what happened in an earlier live stream. But this live stream has taught me also the idea that I need to continually just learn, tweak, improve. There's no need to be perfect. Don't let perfection stop you, because perfectionism is another form of procrastination, right? Progression is perfection. So after doing that live stream and I noticed it and then I went to think about it, and then I realized that I can do this. So I am still pretty much visible, but you notice now the words are more clear. because I've just added an additional opaque overlay or semi-transparent overlay so that the words are clearer. So just now you couldn't see this, right? But now you can, right? Now you can. Now you should be able to see this much better. Now, so again, all these things are only made possible because you learn the tools and then you integrate them in the ways that will work for you, your use case, right? And this all this like this iPad sharing thing, writing on a screen thing, is kind of an effort to overcome Zoom fatigue or live stream fatigue or whatever you call it, right? Whatever you call it. So that's how you do it, right? And also you can do things like this, right? You know, you can do things and you show little yay. So this is just it's just pattern interrupt. It's just pattern interrupt, right? For your audience. It's just pattern interrupt for your audience. So I digress. I was supposed to talk about support. Yeah, supposed to talk about support. Yeah. So that's number 3. Learning how to look for the right resources or right channels to help you. Okay. Oh, there's a line here. Okay. Number 2. So over the past 100 days, so I looked at the viewership numbers and I've learned certain things. By far, because again, this was a personal discipline challenge. It's not like targeted for a certain kind of area of business or a subject matter. So if that's the case, then it's altogether different. So number 1, I found that my audience support comes from friends, which is natural, right? But if you are a business, then you want to, of course, make sure your reach goes out even more. So that's one of the main insights I found, right? The second thing I found or I noticed is that the titles, your titles are important, right? So we talked about this. Titles are important, and typically the titles that has garnered higher viewership are typically questions. Questions. So that might be something interesting for you to think about, right? So if your title is a question, the viewership numbers tended to be higher, for at least for my show, right? So that's something else for you to think about. So you may have a question in your title. So like, how can I something something? You know, what are the best ways to something something, right? So when the titles are phrased in a question, right, it typically helps a lot in terms of viewership. The third insight, interviews. The 2 episodes that I did as an interview were also very high viewership episodes, which I think kind of big links to this thing, right? Because when you do an interview, you are also leveraging on the interviewee's circle of influence, which is why the increase is higher, right? It's possible that way, right? So that is an interesting insight in the sense that if you are thinking of doing this from a business perspective for your business, then what you can do is you can start to plan out a schedule where you interview people, right? Because when you interview people, it actually works very well. I guess also the other thing is people are bored of seeing your mug on the screen all the time, right? So Ecamm is able to take multiple interviewees if you're keen, right? That's one of the good things about Ecamm. You can actually get people in. as an interviewee. You can do it multiple panels. And because of the way it's structured, you can also do all kinds of nice graphics for your interviewees, right? So that's always cool. Okay, so that's the number two. And the first and the I guess the first and also the most important insight I've learned over the past 100 days is that I can't write properly. Is that people root for you, right? Friends and family. Friends and family root for you. It's been amazing, and I truly appreciate it because friends and family comments, feedback, support. They tell you, no, hey, I saw your episode yesterday. Yeah, I don't, all kinds of things. So if you ever want to do this, even just for a personal project, do it just for the fun of it, right? Because then you can give your friends and family members the opportunity to support you uh, this way, right? So definitely one of the best things. That's one of the best, most important things I've learned from it. Notice this? I can actually do this. This is a fun part about, right? I'm kicking out again. Sorry about that. Here's a bonus one. Bonus insight. Every discipline has multiple rewards. Every discipline has multiple rewards. So I'm so happy to have done this. I'm so happy to have started 100 days live stream challenge 100 days ago, right? And we are here. Yay! 100 days and we are done. But it has benefited me in many ways, just like what you've seen just now. Some of the things are insights, some of the things are skills I've learned that will stand me in good state as we move on in 2021, right? In fact, a friend was joking with me the other day saying that you'll never be out of a job, right? Or never be out of a demand because now you can be a live stream consultant, which is kind of true because I've gotten requests from people, which is interesting, right? So it's kind of like leveling up your personal skills, right? So the challenge of doing this has has brought about multiple rewards. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a challenge. I'm looking at the clock, so I'm trying to keep it under an hour. But I really appreciate. I really admire the like Luria Petrucci. I mentioned her before. She does, I think, 2 or 3 live streams every week that last for at least an hour and a half, right? Sometimes 2 hours. It's like, I say, how are they able to do these kind of things? But so today's format is a bit more conversational and just kind of wanted to show you um, what's going on in my mind, right? The 10 plus 1 bonus thing I've learned over the past 100 days. So obviously, the most important question that might be on your mind is what's next? What's next? I'm going to take a few days break. Not really. But I'm not going to do another challenge because I think it's not. You also don't want to. Like just like Zoom fatigue or live stream fatigue. You don't want to go into a challenge fatigue, right? And also you don't want your friends and family to go into a challenge fatigue. It's like if I finish this challenge and then I start another challenge, then your friends will be saying, again, another one. You want us to support you for another 100 days, something like that. I mean, not that they won't, but don't be like, don't do that to them, right? Don't do that to them, right? So I'm not going to start any challenge, but what I'm going to do from now on, right, is that, in fact, this was inspired by my friend who was inspired by me starting this challenge. So I like what she's doing, right? So she has been doing. She posts a content. She posts a piece of content every day. Right? She posts a piece of content every day to her platform, and not restricted by time or anything like that. Right? So this is what I think I would do, or I would like to do, right? It's not exactly cast in stone yet, but don't worry, it's not a challenge, or not in that way anyway. But what I'm thinking is that, but it needs to be challenging to myself, right? So I'm going to do what she's doing, right? And I want to post a piece of content every day. It's not going to be all live streams. It could be anything. It could be a piece to TikTok or Instagram. And by content, it doesn't also necessarily mean live streams all the time. But what I want to do is that, what I'm thinking of doing is something new each day. Something new each day. So what do I mean by new, right? So for example, I have never, ever, not yet at least, posted anything to TikTok. So if I do something on TikTok, then that's new, right? But does it mean that the second thing I post on TikTok is not new anymore? Not exactly. So if I post something about, let's say, I'm so sorry, I cannot show your comments onto the screen, because I'm running it through another platform, because the other platform seems to be bugging out right now. But George, thank you so much. This is my good friend from school, secondary school, a bunch of guys, so he said gonna get used to 10 o'clocks without me. So what I mean by something new, and help me along, right? I mean, just let me know how you think about it, right? Something new meaning, let's say I have never done a video piece on a reaction. Like, let's say I do a reaction piece. So I watch something and I record my reaction to something. Oh no, there's a lot of these kind of things. Or I've never done a unboxing video, or I've never done making a coffee in front of a camera before and posting it somewhere. So as long as it's something new, I think you'll qualify. Or I've never done a Chinese live stream, right? Then that also qualifies as new. And of course, but that doesn't mean that once I speak once in Chinese and then that's it. But if I've never done a certain subject matter in Chinese for that day, for another day, that's also fine. So the word new is loosely categorized, right? So please don't fault me on that. So as long as it's something that is a new thing I've not done before, so I will challenge myself to put up a piece of content in that area, in that arena, or in that format, right? That's what I want to do next, right? You never know. I might pop back on 10 o'clocks, right? Uh, so what I'm thinking is that because your personal profile is a bit harder to make announcements, so I might set up a page or something like that, and you could always just follow that page if you want to, and the page can actually do announcements. So if you want that, I'm happy to do something like that, right? So that's another that's the next thing for me. So thank you so much. It's been a blast. You later you notice. Okay, I'm actually quite. I do pay attention to details a little bit. So later on at the end show, the reel, um, you will notice that it's not see you tomorrow, right? So anyway, so 10 things that I have benefited tremendously for doing a 100-day live stream challenge. It's been 100 days of learning and fun and encouragement and love and support from every one of you. I truly, truly want to thank all of you for being on the journey. Um, Look, I know it's not possible to watch all 100 days, There's no matter how much you've watched, even if you just watch a few seconds and, hey, that's my friend, and then you send me a message and send me a comment, I also appreciate that. In fact, sometimes that's the best thing already. So I didn't mention it, but one of the benefits of doing this live stream is I've been able to reconnect with a lot of old friends that we have not seen each other for a while, right? And looks like gatherings are out of the question for a bit more, So like today, I sent a message to a friend. Last year, from probably about a year ago, I was having a dinner with him in KL, and things are so different now, right? Everything is so different now. So so long, farewell. Thank you so much. And BK is done with the 100 days live stream challenge. He might be back with something else, but definitely not a follow-up challenge straight away, because I don't want to do that to you and say, huh, again, another challenge. That's not a nice thing, right? So I will see you around. Thank you and good night.